to a horse who had a Racing Post rating of 112, and Sylvester de Souza's riding.
Yeah, and that's an interesting booking because Philip Rides only had one 2-year-old winner first time out, and SDS actually rode that one. So I thought that was an interesting booking, and had been back this morning.
Next one is Lethal Talent, the next one for Johnny Portman, number 8, another grey.
Yeah, had a couple of starts so far, just behind the Blue Boa at Chelmsford last time, but that was her second start. You'd imagine the Blue Boa's probably got more progress in her.
And you'll lose them briefly as they head behind the presentation podium. But when you've seen number 8, the last one that we'll be able to pick up, now you need to say this because I'm not of southwestern provenance. So me saying Gert Lush doesn't really go, does it? It is.
I don't think the accent's that bad, Gert Lush.
Isn't it? But isn't it supposed to be like Gert Lush?
Possibly, but you're a better broadcaster than me, so I'll let you do that. Good form though, third on debut at Bath. Roger Till's horse is generally improved for the run and won't be too far away.
I didn't say your accent was bad. I simply said it was more of a southwest
ilk
provenance than mine.
Yeah, well, that's a fact, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know if it's that West Country.
Roger Till trains Gert Lush. Do you give her a chance?
Yeah, I'll give her a little bit of a squeak because, again, I don't think the standard's too high, is it? We saw in the early division a newcomer came good, and that may happen again with the Willie Haggis or Charlie McBride one. But standard-wise, hasn't got a great deal to find.
Right, you've seen a lot ahead of this second division of the novice auction.
And Pretty Pickle, 11-8, still the favourite. William Haggis bidding to add to his 13 winners in the last 2 weeks. Gert Lush, 6-1. Next in for Roger Teal, 35 at Bath at 6-1. Twice as likely, Richard Hughes and Shane Kelly combining going up in distance this evening. And the 6 is I Had a Dream, who was really slow to go at Leicester. Probably will improve if quicker away today. And she is also in the mix, but standout favourite here, Pretty Pickle on debut, filly by Born to See. And we can take a look at her and, of course, the rest of them on their way down to the start.
Pretty Pickle then. Fairly steady at the head of the market, 6-4, this daughter of Born to See. And she's just in the background there, the navy colours with the mauve epaulets. Pat Dobbs taking the ride for William Haggis. What encourages you? Well, she costs more money than most of these. Her pedigree's not too bad, and she's got juvenile speedsters in her pedigree as well.
Yeah, she's not a nice type, and she Kia More last year did pretty well. Daughter of SK Love, and this one's Born to See, probably an upgrade in the sire stakes. Willie Haggis, 2 from Southern with the 2-year-olds this year, so they're already off to a good start. And we've kind of remarked beforehand, the standard hasn't been that great with the form horses in either of these 2 divisions, and this one I think is probably weaker on paper form-wise. Ocasio Cortez had shown a decent enough standard in the first one, so no surprise that a newcomer's favourite. Like I say, she was putting even money, I think, last night. Drifted a bit this morning, strong enough again now, 6-4. So I think has every chance. Still 9. Maybe you want to be a little bit off that stands rail. That might be an only slight question mark, but you've only had one race in a straight track.
There's only a amount of these who've run who are entitled to step forward fairly significantly. Which one appeals to you the most?
Well, we discussed the Blue Boa, and just looking at the pedigree, House is the Monster Chevalier, who won the Super Sprint here a few years ago. Loads of winners in the pedigree, and Susie Smith, renowned for more jumpers, only had 2 2-year-olds run, and the fact she came 4th on debut was a really promising effort. Daughter of Morpheus, I think she'll improve. She beat Lethal Talent on that occasion. That was Lethal Talent's second start, so I think price-wise is a little bit too big at 12-1.
I don't really understand why she is such a big price. A 14-runner race at Chelmsford these days takes a bit of winning. You know, the prize money there's good, and they're pretty well stocked, those races. So I'm surprised she's not half the price she is, the Blue Boa. Kieran Fox is putting up a pound overweight, which isn't ideal, but you know, I'll take that into the price.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? 8 stone 9. Most of them got 8 stone 8, so she's still not far off bottom weight. I just thought she didn't have that much to find with those that have run. Into at the moment, I thought that was interesting because, like I say, Charlie McBride, not really renowned for winning newcomers, but the only one that did, SDS actually rode, and they booked the SGS for this daughter Mustaji. Nice enough pedigree. Still one will be out in the centre of the track. Still one, probably not ideal for a juvenile, because they do tend to just shift out left because they got nothing to keep them straight, and that might be a negative first time. But was strong in the market yesterday, a little bit weak on track now, 10-1.
They are now beginning to load for this 6:05. If you've just joined us here at Newbury this evening, the opening race, the Apprentice Handicap, went the way of Gas Monkey, who looked a pretty exciting handicapper at a lowish level. He won today off 68, but he won very, very easily for Julia Fielden out of a mare that she trained, and she's going to have to find an opportunity for him fairly quickly.
Yes, because I would say an £8 rise minimum for that, and it's going to be a little bit harder, but what if we won off Tuesday, got till next Friday, so there should be something in the programme book to find, and definitely improving. And like I say, he's not done bad, being very patient, Julia, and getting the reward now.
And the first division of this race went the way of Special Secret, who was really quite impressive for Eve Johnson-Horton and Charlie Bishop. Trainer not getting too carried away afterwards, but it was a first win as an owner with his first runner for Rick Frost. Nice bit of beginner's luck for him as we warm into the second division, and they're about 3 out back, and they've got 6 furlongs to run, and it's 2-year-old fillies again, and it's Mark Johnston in the commentary box.
Thanks, Nick. 3 back. About to move forward now, the Blue Bower. And that will leave Gert Lush into stall number 8 and into stall 6, Twice As Likely, for Division 2 of the Win Racers with Jonathan Portman Fillies Novice Auction Stakes. Gert Lush slowly away on her debut. She's going to load last here with David Probert into stall 8, rearing in stall 4, I Had a Dream. Settles now. Gert Lush goes in. They're in the gate. And they're off. And hampered coming out of the stalls was I Had a Dream, as a Lethal Talent went away to her left and slightly inconvenienced 1 or 2 of the runners. Gert Lush, as she did on debut, was also very slowly away from the stalls, showing speed isolated right down the centre of the course. Intimate Moment now coming up between fillies, the Blue Bower, and these are them just being followed by Pretty Pickle in the dark blue and the beige of Twice As Likely. Next is Chromium, and then towards the wide outside, I Had a Dream, staying on after that trouble beginning. La Fontaine is next, then Lethal Talent. Outpaced is Summer Lake, and still the back marker is Gert Lush. They race down towards the final quarter mile. Against the rail, the Blue Bower now has been overtaken by Twice As Likely, and Twice As Likely now claims the lead to Chromium over on the far side. Still trying to stay on. Pretty Pickle up against the near side rail. They're racing now inside the final furlong. Twice As Likely has the lead. Chromium is the grey in second. Pretty Pickle in third. Lethal Talent trying to stay on. So too I Had a Dream. 100 yards to go. Twice As Likely in front. Twice As Likely wins. Chromium in second, tight for third. Lethal Talent between fillies. Over on the far side, that was I Had a Dream. And on the near side rail, Pretty Pickle.
Seemed to take a long time, that final furlong. It was Twice As Likely that won on her 4th start for Shane Kelly and Richard Hughes. 4th at Chepstow last time, and didn't have an unduly hard time, but has probably not had to improve that much on that to win here. Sharper away this time. Twice As Likely it was that won. Second was Chromium. That was a significant improvement on anything she's shown to date. It may be indicative of the fact that this possibly not the strongest of races, but Twice As Likely was due a win, and a win she got.
Yep, she did indeed, and could be important. Race further off that inside rail, stands rail, through most of the contest. Did hang towards the rail at the end, but she set the standard. She had 3 starts, handled good to soft ground at Chepstow. I think that's key. Again, these 2-year-olds have found it pretty hard work. Those that showed early speed have dropped away very, very tamely, and in the end it was experience that sold.
It was. I must say I was struggling to make a case for Chromium coming into this.
Yeah, it didn't progress from round 1 to 2 at all. Perhaps the turf's seen a better effort. Cable Bay, we've mentioned earlier on, what a decent sire he's proving with early season 2-year-olds.
Now, Lethal Talent took a left-hander coming out of the stalls and badly impeded I Had a Dream, Tom Clover's filly, and also did no favours to the Blue Bower, who we quite liked beforehand. She showed really bright speed, the Blue Bower. She might have been too lit up, came right over onto the rail and then faded horribly.
Yeah, showed a lot of speed. Probably got that bump, like you say, lit her up. But I wouldn't have been coming across the stands rail myself. I think I'd be quite happy being 3 or 4 horses off it, because the winner's a couple of horses off the rail, off the bridle here actually at halfway when they did come across. But switching out to the slightly better ground I think has helped her, because the second horse who's travelling much better, Chromium, than Nicola Curry. She's always had a wide trip. The horse on the outside, he's not run bad either for Luke Morris. So I don't really think you want to be on that stands rail at the moment.
Pretty Pickle has gone from travelling just about best of all. Didn't get the clearest of runs, but then in fairness didn't find a whole lot just to the left now.
Yeah, maybe because she had to race on that rail the whole way through the contest, it might not have helped her, because it looks a little bit slower on that inside. I don't think it was as strong a race as the first contest. It's interesting to see how the times compare, but I think these are probably in alignment with KZ Cortez in that first division. I think he's got quite a nice horse in her hands.
And Gert Lush hasn't actually run as badly as the finishing position suggested, because she really didn't get the rub of the green.
No.